Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Okie dokie, well we are here to put the signatures together, sew them into the hidden spine and then add that spine into our journal. So it's time to get this book bound. This, as I have mentioned previously, is my least favourite job. It's work. Decorating and choosing and making and all the rest of it is fun. This is actual work because it has to be done properly. So I tend to avoid this as long as I can. And then I get it all done in one hit and it's not so bad, but I avoid it every time. So anyway, we'll get on with it. I'm unsure how much of this I will leave in. You've seen it before, you'll see it again. This time, as a bit of a change, I am doing a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, not a 5-hole stitch. I'm not doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch as I normally do. And I'm going to sew it a bit differently this time as well. Instead of, with the 3, I usually go from the middle to the bottom, all the way to the top and back out the middle. This time I am going to go from the middle to the second to the third bottom stitch, and then back to the second, back to the middle, and then work my way up and down again. So yeah, it's going to be slightly different, but you'll see. I will leave in at least a couple of signatures. There is 4 signatures in this journal, so I'm pretty sure you don't want to watch me struggle with 4 of them. I will be using a twine to do this. It's much stronger than the usual crochet thread that I would normally use in a smaller journal. I want this to be quite a robust journal, hence the 5-hole stitching and the very heavy thread. So you'll see as I go along anyway. Anyway, our little template here is almost done. Then I will find a piece of fabric to put over the spine. I'm actually going to use a piece of fabric that was sent to me by the lovely Bonnie, from Bonnie and Clive. It's a nasty, nasty looking piece of fabric and I love it a lot. I have almost run out of it now. It's quite thick, sturdy fabric, and she has used it as a coffee dye drop sheet, and it is really grungy, and I think it will just suit this book very nicely. So anyway, I'm going to speed this up for you guys and we'll get on with it and get these signatures together and get this job over and done with. I am actually going to utilize 2 needles to do this. Not because I need 2 needles, but because from the inside of the spine I can't actually see where the holes are. This fabric has disguised them beautifully, so I am just going to use a second needle to poke through the fabric from the back where I can see the holes and guide my needle back through. Yeah. And I just cannot see where the holes are, so that is the best way I can think of doing it. I often use another needle or my poker tool, or it's just anything like that. Basically that's it really, the needle or the pokey tool. So just gives me the opportunity to see where the little hole is, where the needle is coming out is where my needle needs to go in. Also, this twine is quite hard to get through everything, so I have pulled my pliers out again because, yeah, else I'm just not going to be able to manage. Another benefit of using this quite heavy twine that's quite tightly bound is that I very rarely end up poking my needle through it when I'm going back through a hole. When you're doing this type of binding, it's kind of important to be very careful about that, because there's so many times that you're going in and out of the same hole that you can split your thread, and that makes tightening your signatures very, very difficult. This, however, is not really an issue with this thread. It's so tightly bound that, there's this, because I use a blunt needle, it's very unlikely that I'm going to pierce the thread and get myself into a pickle like that. Okay, well that's the first 2 signatures sewn in. I am going to cut out the next 2 and we will just move on to getting this signature block into our book. But here we have them all. This is all 4 signatures bound in and it's ready to go, ready to marry with our book cover. Of course, before we do that, I want to just put a piece of cheesecloth down the spine. So I think I've said before, I normally do this by holding the book between my knees and doing it there, but of course that is not really conducive to filming, so I've just split my signatures in half basically and laid it face down on the table. Not my preferred method, but it at least is a way I can show you what I'm doing. So I'm just going to cover this spine with cheesecloth now, leaving a little header and footer so that it just sticks out a tiny bit above the cover of the book on either end. And it helps to secure all the signatures by gluing all the binding in. So I just like the look. As you can see, I'm taking some time to smear this glue out so that it doesn't soak through the fabric. That's not really necessary with this fabric. It's such thick fabric, but it's just force of habit now. I really don't like the glue seeping through my fabric, so yeah, I just do it as a matter of course now, no matter what fabric I'm using. So yeah, it's the best way to stop your glue seeping through if you're using a thinner fabric, is to just sort of smear it out a bit and not leave big globs anyway. And there we have it, guys. It's a book. Hooray! All right, thanks so much for being with me here today, guys. I appreciate your company as always. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.